All right, in this chapter, we're going to talk about the active invoice list for service. This is where you can come to see a list of repair orders, work estimates, etc. Um, if you have the correct permissions to access it, you'll scroll over to the service module, you'll click the service cells tile, and this is going to land us on the active invoices list. We can see that over here in the left-hand collapse menu. Towards the end of the video, we'll talk briefly about history and voided. But for the first part, we're going to talk about this list that you're going to use quite often. When you land on this list, it defaults to repair orders. So you do have the option of searching by work estimates instead of repair orders. You can show them all. One of the great things about this list is the ability to search. And I'm going to jump a little bit ahead for a minute and expand these rows here. I will talk about this in a minute, but what we have here is a summary row and a job row, and it has all kinds of information in it. And I can search that information, whether it's shown on this screen or not, using this drop-down list. You can see all kinds of great information here. Maybe I want to see any RO that is a Kawasaki RO. You can see I narrowed it down there. I have 98 results. But what's really cool about this search is you can keep drilling into that. I could say add a criteria. So I might want to say, you know what, of all the Kawasaki units I have, how many of them are warranty? And I can search. Oh, out of those 98, I have 8. And I might just want to find out how many of them were from last year. So I could go by my end date, and in my drop down I have all these options, but I'm going to go ahead and say last year and do search. So if I'm trying to narrow down out of the 1,000 ROs I have, how many of them related to Kawasaki or warranty, and I've had them since last year, I can see 6 here. Um, you can see there's other details in here. One of the things about this search is it's not always a type search. You can see I have some different job indicators, and we'll talk about these in an upcoming chapter. So I could have went in and also added another search, went to my drop down and said, show me job indicator matching everything that has job complete. And I can search, and you can see I drilled down here. And job complete was in the job row. Now I could have searched that again without having it expanded. I'm just letting you know that you can search different jobs, different things by different stacks of information here. And if I want to back my search out, I can do that without starting over. If I want to remove the job indicator, I can click it there, and you can see my search goes back. Maybe I don't want to see it's a warranty job anymore. I just want to see how many Kawasaki units I have from last year. I can remove that, and you can see it change to 40. So pretty handy tool. To clear your search, you can hit clear all here. We also have up here a new estimate button. This icon, if it turns blue, means when you're looking at this page, something in this data has changed. So you would click that to refresh your screen just to let you know you're looking at outdated data. We also have a reset grid button right here in a minute. I'm going to show you how to configure the grid, but if it gets wonky or you want to get back to where the standard is for DX1, you can hit reset grid. And what it's going to do here is reset the list. Okay. And what that really did was your configuration, and that's what we're going to talk about next. One of the great things about this DX1 grid is you can make it your own. You can move these column headers around to display in a different order. You can move the icons to put them anywhere you want. You can decide whether you want to hide columns. I can click in here and decide from a list that I want to show certain things. Maybe I want to show my total job price and my total job parts. I can add those in and hit apply. I could also hide stuff from this list. You know, my customer information is already in my summary row, so I don't need to see that in my job details. I add the invoice numbers in my summary row. I don't need to see that for every job. Invoice status, I'll hide that. Again, in data, I don't need to see that, and I can hit apply, and you can see those have moved out of there. I can, again, move these icons anywhere I want. I can widen these columns. I can do lots of stuff with them. So if you want to configure, you can hide, you can move left or right, you can drag, you can hide here, you can show and hide based off of information here. Okay, so that's a little bit of the information of how to build this grid. Now, one of the columns I do want to specifically talk about here is the ability down here, the very last column is invoice updated date. If you add that in, what you can do is now instead of these ROs being all in numerically in descending order here, you notice 09, 08, 06, 04. If I click this twice, what it's going to do is go by last updated, meaning you notice now they're no longer in numerical order. So if I open up this RO for Happy Company and I come into a job here and I set a job indicator and I hit save and I come back, now we'll see this invoice will be on the top because it was my last updated. You can see it moved to the top here. So again, depending on how you like your ROs to display here, whether you like them numerically or you like the last edited to always be at the top, you can configure that by using this invoice updated date column in here to set that. All right, so now that we've talked about configuration and moving them around, let's talk about this far left icon. So this is expand all and collapse all for all jobs. Each job has a summary line. That's what we're seeing here. If I highlight over this icon, it'll say expand to summary row, and this is where I can see the details of the RO. So we can see in the summary row, it's letting me know that I have this customer, one unit, one job. To see the details of that particular job, I can expand it. Here's an RO right below it with two jobs, so I can see the details of each one of those jobs. And if you notice here, the job data is what corresponds with these column headers. So if you're looking over here and you're thinking, hey, manufacturer, that doesn't line up, that's because those columns match the job information here. So again, maybe I don't want to hide VIN. You can see it's important to see a lot of the information here. I don't really need to see if it's a warranty job because I can simply search if it's a warranty job. So you can see here by adding and removing certain fields, I can see more details. I'm definitely going to probably want to see my job title, things like that. Okay, so let's talk about the details of the summary row first. You can see here we have our RO number, our end date, our customer, the number of units and jobs, the invoice total, and the invoice status. Not a job status, the invoice status. Okay. We also have some icons here. So you can do quick things from this grid without opening. Maybe I need to add some notes to the RO. I can click it there, click the plus icon, add in a new note. You'll see it'll create a timestamp, who did it, when they did it, what the note is, etc. A quick way to add that. I can add or view appointments from this window. We'll talk about Service Scheduler in an upcoming chapter. I can see the status of invoices by hovering over them. Here I can see I have outstanding parts on a particular PO. You can see they're color coded. Green means I'm good to go, no outstanding parts invoices. Red means there's parts on back order. I also have parts that are on an open invoice. So again, make sure you can see there's many different statuses, and by hovering over them, you can see the details. I can also click the printer icon. This is the printout that goes to our customer. You can see it's got all that information. Again, a receipt. This is the receipt type for the customer facing. A lot of times I see our dealers printing that for the technicians, but we have a little bit better process for that, and we'll show you that here in a minute. You can email the customer, and you can quick void jobs right from this list if you need to. Now, there may be some conditions here. This one, it says, hey, I can avoid this, but it can't be undone. That's good, but there may be other conditions when I go to quick void. This one I can quick void where it say I may not be able to do something. So far, boy, I'm hitting a nice streak of them here. This can be undone. So you might run into some where it says a payment's been taken or tied to an RO where it won't let you quick void. If it won't let you quick void an item from this list, you just need to go into it, void the work estimate, and hit save. Again, a lot of times you might have a payment or an attached invoice it won't let you do, and that would be one of the main reasons that it would ask you to go in to void it manually. So those are the icons for the summary line. Now, when I expand my job lines here, I can see some other icons, and let me find one particularly here that we'll look for. So here's a good example of one with a Polaris, where when I'm in my let's close some of these down around us here to make it easy to understand where we're at. All right. So you can see I'm looking at this job for work estimate 55546. And we have a whole bunch of job information here. Let's move this job title back so we can see some information. And these icons are really important. So let's cover what these do. This first pencil takes you directly to the job. If you have an invoice with multiple jobs on it, you don't want to have to click in the RO, then have to navigate to the job. You can click this pencil. It'll take you directly to the job. Printout, this is what we call a technician job sheet. So you can see here, rather than printing out information to the technician that they don't need with all that customer information, this is stuff related to the job. It'll show job description, parts that are on order, sold, the status of them, an area for the technician to enter their recommended repairs, their recommended repair resolutions, and then some area for them to clock in and out if you don't let them use the computers. And then you can, depending on your browser setting, can also, when you print this, set a date and a timestamp so you have some version of this. And again, if your technicians don't use DX1, this is probably one of the most used tools within Service because you're printing them out for the technician constantly. So make sure you look those because those are per job. All right, and then we also have two important icons here. Depending on the manufacturer, you may see this service bulletin icon. When clicked, what it's going to let you know is that there's some type of service bulletin on this unit, whether it's a stop sell, when it was posted, the code, the bulletin dates. It'll let you know down in here if they've been completed. If they have not been completed, you can also click here to quickly get directly to the service bulletin. So these are really, really important tools to check. We have those for different manufacturers: Polaris, BRP, Yamaha, Kawasaki, Honda. So make sure you're not missing those. If you're one of those manufacturers and you don't see them, make sure to reach out to our support team and make sure that your integrations are configured correctly. And do keep in mind you'll also have to have a valid VIN because it's doing a VIN lookup. So if you don't have a valid VIN, you won't get information returned. We also have here a branded vehicle spec icon. Again, you can see these for different brands. When I click it, you might see different information here. It's going to give me details about the model that I'm looking at, all kinds of different information here. If it had an extended warranty, the dates, details related to the engine. Again, service bulletins if I need to see them. I can see the service history again, and if there's a service plan. Here I can see there is a service plan, when the start dates are, the end dates, who the selling dealer was, when the warranty expires. In this case, this one's going to expire here this week. So great tools to make sure to check out when you're looking to see if you have extended warranties. And this next one is really important. You can add photos directly related to a unit and a job. And you can use DX1 on a mobile device. So don't forget, that would be the quickest way to do this next one. If you're taking pictures to add them to a job, come up here to help, click on DX1 mobile, shoot that, log in with your username and passcode. You'll be on your mobile device. You can access this RO where you could click this icon and upload photos that you may have. To do that, you would click here, click add images, quickly add in your image, click upload, and you have them here now. You can name them. Maybe this was the right side of the motorcycle, something along those lines, a scratch, some damage, something along those lines. I can add information there. So that's how to add photos in. If we go up here, let me get to the top of my list here. And we go down and we look for customer demo units. Let's see what we got here. We can definitely see if products have F&I products in sold with it. If it does, if an F&I product was sold through your dealership, this will turn green and it will show it here. And you can see the details. If you have a customer that maybe is new to you, didn't buy the vehicle, but does have an extended warranty, you can add that information here. Go in, say whether it's new, give it a vendor, give it a product name, etc., term, length, all that fun stuff, and you can put it in, and now you'll have information related to warranty repair. So if you have to work with this unit in the future, you can see all that information for submitting warranty claims. So that's a good one to make sure that you know there. We also have a vehicle history here. So based off the VIN number, this follows the VIN through the dealership. It can go across customers, and again, you can see any type of history. I don't have a lot of history in this demo account, so you're not seeing a lot, but this is a great one to use if also, again, you're printing out information for customers or for your techs to show them information related to work that's been done in the past. Again, so don't forget to miss that icon there. Here you can see we have the Kawasaki icon, different things I was looking for there. So. All right, so just wanted to kind of cover that's a look through the different icons we have here. Again, we're going to see data here related to these columns. We've already kind of talked about that. Some can be clicked and set right within the list. Again, I can see parts totals. So that's just kind of an overview of how to configure the grid, how to use the drop downs, the summary rows, the job detail rows, the icons that are corresponding, how to use the search. Also, if you need to find an RO you've already completed somewhere in your history, you can do that here. You can search by name. You can search by date. You can search for some other stuff here. I can come in and I can see the history of an RO if I need to talk with a customer, reprint them an invoice, something along those lines. That's how I can find completed ROs. I can also find any type of voided RO here. And you do have some functionality with voided ROs to recreate the cell, but keep in mind it's not going to bring over all your information. So just make sure you know that when you go to create the new work estimate, these items here, which are unit hours or discounts or special order layaway parts and prices, may have changed. So you need to kind of double check all this information when you recreate. So don't make sure you miss that. And at that point, I could save that, add in the hours, do whatever I need to do. We'll discard that and come back to our list. So again, this video covered our active invoice list. It talked about how to do searches, how to reset the grid, configure the grid using the configuration here, our summary row, which is our first row, our job rows, which are the lines that are listed underneath it, and the corresponding data that flows there, and how you can also change your list to have the last edited show at the top, or if you'd like to keep it numerically. And again, if you just need to reset everything and start over, you can do that here. And of course, if you need to make a new work estimate, you can click that button here, or you can click the service icon at the top of the screen up here, the red box, to go straight to it. So hopefully that gives you a head start in using the DX1 Active Invoices service invoicing repair order list.